How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Zero Designs here, and today we're going to be talking now about particles inside After Effects, and we're just going to take a look at this plugin, and yeah, we're just going to play around with it, and I'm just going to show you what you can do with it. So the plugin is called, let me just load it up for you guys. It's Trapcode Particles, so it's by Trapcode, and you can just type it right here. Tap Trapcode Particular, and how to use it is just you create a new solid. Let's make this black composition, yeah, and just drag it onto there. So once you have that, we can make sure that it's loading. All right, we can just go ahead and start the emitter. So as you can see, we have this emitter right here. Let's just change that Z position back real quick. I always do that for some reason. But we have this emitter that pretty much starts right here. It's just a little square that kind of looks pretty weird. So what we're going to do is we're going to change some settings around, and to be able to do this, you got to understand the particular menu. Pretty much, you got rendering, visibility, wood transform, arc system, physics, shading, particle, and emitter. Today, we're just going to look at emitter, particle, and maybe a bit of physics. So let's just go ahead and change the emitter. So the emitter type right now is obviously a point, and you can change it to a lot of things. I'm just going to change it to a grid, which is pretty much just a plain thing. Or you can change it to a sphere, as you can see, a box, lights, if you have lights like from Cinema 4D or something, or you can just choose a layer, but we're just going to use grid, and I'm just going to drag this over to the side over here. And before we do anything, let's just go ahead and go to the grid emitter, particles in X, Y, and there we go. Periodic burst, and you know, you can play around with that. So what we're going to do first off is let's just go to the particle. Let's change the particle from a sphere to a glowing sphere. Let's change the set color to, you can choose over life, which pretty much pretty much means it's going to change color over life. And what you can do as well is choose a random from gradient, then the the particles are getting a random color from somewhere on a gradient right here. And what you can do as well is choose a from light emitter, and that is pretty much if you have a light. So over life pretty much means it's going to start out red, then it's going to turn yellow, then it's going to turn green, and then it's going to turn blue at the end. So we obviously don't want that to happen. So you can choose random ones actually, which is pretty fun. But we can change the colors of this. Let's just make it kind of bluish, kind of reddish, orangey, all of them, pretty much. This one, let's change it to a bit more orange. And let's change this one to a bit of orange as well. I don't know, I like orange for particles. It kind of looks like fire or something. And this one to orange as well. So now we have some particles, but they kind of look all the same. So we're just going to choose the size. We can pull that up or down. It doesn't really matter. But what we're going to do is choose the size random, and this is going to change the size randomness pretty much. And what you can do is change the opacity, obviously, and opacity random, which is pretty cool as well. I usually use that just a bit. And you can change the glow around as well. So if you make this bigger, you just got to make sure that the glow size is down or up, depending on what you would like. So then we can change the opacity down or up, and choose the feather up or down. But we're just going to pull this down again because I like it small. And let's put up the size again to about 300. And so yeah, this is pretty much the you can change the sphere feather as well. So you can just play around with the settings. Most of this is just playing around with settings. And I've just got to find this one thing. Emission extras, is that it? Yeah. All right, so in the emitter tab and emission extra, you can pre-run. So right now, if you put it on 0, it's just going to start emitting right here. But if you pull that up, it's going to pre-run some particles. So then we can change the velocity, obviously. And you can change that up or down, but it's kind of weird. It goes really quick. So we don't really want that too much to happen. But they still, let's make it 100 then. But they still only take part of the screen. So we can change that live around. Let's just, oh my god. Let's just take a look at the particle. And pull the emitter down. And the live, we can pull that up. And as you can see, the particles are going wider ranged, obviously. Let's just run this real quick. Let's put it at a quarter, because I just gotta take a look at the speed, pretty much, how they are evolving over time, if it's going quick or slow. So as you can see, it's pretty slow, but we haven't added all our particles, but this is okay, the speed for me. If you want to speed it up, you can obviously change the emitter size and stuff around, and position X, Y and stuff. I'm sorry, that's not the part. I'm sorry. So what we're going to do now is go to the physics. This is pretty much where you do it. You can choose gravity. That's pretty much going to pull them down if that's what you would like. I'm just going to put it at 0. You can change the physics model to bounce as well. And then it will bounce a bit more. But let's just keep it to air and to 0. And you can change the physics time factor around as well. Pretty much just for the calculations. If you have physics, it's cool. Now it's pretty much 1 second, so that's really it. So you can choose air resistance. That's pretty much going to make it resist from the air. Right now it's using the air to kind of go over there. But we want a bit more wind in the X direction, because we want it to go over here. And then we have something cool called the turbulence field. And what we want to do, we want to increase the effect size. Not that much. Just a tiny bit. Really, and the scale obviously up. Not too much. Let's just keep it like that. And then we can use the X offset and Y offset and Z offset. So right now, what you can see is what is going to happen is a lot of flickering, pretty much. And that is because we have the effect size up way too much. We can put it at 10. Back again, because it's going way too quick. And right now, what you can see is the particles are not going straight. They're kind of moving around in space, and that's what the turbulence field does. Move with wind, we can pull that up, of course. And then you have the spherical field, which you can also use. It's pretty much the same as this field. So the cool thing about particles is that you can just put a little text below it, actually, hi, and it will still be visible. And as you can see, some particles are in front of it and some are behind of it. And that is because particles are in 3D. So let's just create a quick camera, new camera, and let's change our view to orbit camera. And as you can see, our particles are all in 3D. But that's not really how I made this setup. So as you can see, there's not too many particles over there, but there's a lot over there. But particles are really cool, just to play around with a lot, I guess. And you obviously have a lot of settings and just a lot of playing around, pretty much. You can vanish them as well, which is pretty cool. And obviously there are much more settings right here. You can just play around with pretty much everything until you kind of get the look you like. And pretty much the most of this plugin is just playing around with it and finding the look that you like or you want. And you know, it always looks cool. I mean, this already looks pretty cool in my opinion. Let's just change the time down quite a bit, because right now it's huge. I'm sorry. So as you can see, this is pretty cool. If you have a little camera movement right here. But as you can see, it's not really too affected by the turbulence field. So let's just go to the physics, air, and let's make sure our turbulence field has affect position as well, because then it's going to affect the position of our particles. So as you can see, that's a lot of, I'm sorry. Let's just change it down to, let's say 40. And as you can see, it's kind of swirling around, and that's the effect that I used in the thing that I showed you on YouTube. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and you know, I hope this might be helpful. I will do some more tutorials on this about creating certain looks and stuff. But this is just a general explanation that you're gonna need for those tutorials as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon.